Hi folks, I'm Matt, and we're way overdue for a board. Forget it. Alright folks, today we are finishing up our conversation about Firefly, the game. This is the expansion Blue Sun here. It's a rim space expansion set, and let's talk about it. First off, of course, you're going to get some new scenario cards, which are really fun, very, very interesting. They give you this new sheet of things here, some more warrants/goals, more haven tokens, just in case you didn't get them in Bounty Hunters expansion. They give you more disgruntled tokens here. And then they give you, what are these? These are our Reaver markers. And on the flip side, they are Alliance markers. But I'm going to talk about Reaver markers and what they're used for in a minute. But first, let's look at this board. As you see, here is the regular board, but what? We have added an expansion. So this board is huge. And instead of your little Reaver starting here, we're actually going to take him and put him over here in Reaver space. Now remember those tokens I talked about earlier? Well, every time you have to move a Reaver through Reaver space here, or rim space is actually what they call it, you have to put one of those tokens down. And if, you know, maybe he passes through, you got to put a second token down. What if he goes back on it? Well, then a third token goes down, and one token here, and one token here, and pretty soon you're going to have tokens all over the place. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that if I'm flying through that space, that occupied space with those tokens, then what I have to do is I have to roll to see if I can avoid Reavers. If there's only one token here, I have to roll over a 1. If there's 2, I have to roll over a 2, and so on. Of course, as you see here, to get to Miranda on the corner there are these permanent Reaver markers. So anytime I go, regardless of whether there's any on here or not, I always have to roll for Reavers. So this is rim space is very dangerous because Reavers are everywhere, and if you don't already know this, Reavers suck. Yeah, you don't want to be caught by Reavers. So this is a very dangerous place. But of course there's new planets here, which I'll talk about in a minute. But first let me show you a few things. We do have some more border space cards, just a few extra ones, because there are a few extra spaces here now in border space. They also give you some rim space cards for when you're out here with the red outline. That's the rim. They also give you more job cards for everyone. Of course, they all have to deal with going out into the rim, and they pay a lot for that. Of course, you have 2 extra people you can choose from. Here's Mr. Universe. He's going to be right there at the Cortex Relay. And Mr. Universe, basically, he adds on to your current job. And if you do his special requirements for the job, you get bonuses. You increase your hand size to 2, which means you can hold on to 2 more extra jobs or whatnot, and that's really cool. And what he does to make you do that, there's certain jobs that say, okay, you have to complete this job that you currently have with patients, but you can't use any fight skill checks or something like that. And it just makes the job a little bit harder, but if you do accomplish it by Mr. Universe's rules, you get the bonus. I really like this. I think it's really cool that, you know, he's not really offering you jobs, he's just offering you add-ons to your current job. I really do like that. Second one is Lord Harrow. His jobs are the equivalent of kind of like Badger, I would say, in between Badger and Patience. That's how much he pays. And if you see, if you're good with him, it says, protect my property. When you complete a smuggling or shipping job, you take $500. That's not bad. And look at him though. Most of these, they'll buy 600, 500 cargo contraband from you. He is only selling cargo to you, and he's selling it for only $300. So that's actually a pretty good deal. You could turn around and sell it to patient for 500, make 200 per cargo. Not a bad idea. I really like that. Of course, they make his really good, and so does Mr. Universe, because they want you to come out here in rim space with all those Reavers, and that is bad. But man, for Lord Harrow, yeah, I probably would do it. Mr. Universe too. I love how the structure of this game goes once again. Now, in accordance to that, they do give you some extra captains here. First off, you have Atherton, and it says here he cannot hire companions on his crew. Well, that sucks because you really want companions. They really help out a lot in the game and giving you bonuses. But because of that minus, they put a lot of pluses on him. He has fancy duds and fake IDs, so that makes him actually a good leader. The other captain here is Murphy. Look at that. He's a medic and a mechanic. Now, whenever you sell cargo or contraband to a contact, you get an extra $100. For that reason alone, he is a good captain to have. So 2 new captain cards. I really like that they did that. It opens up your choices. And finally, I just want to go through the rest of the cards that are here on Meridian. Meridian now has its own deck, and they came up with some cards specifically, of course, for the rim space. Here's one that says Fruity Odie Bar. Of course, if you remember the Fruity Odie Bars from the movie. It says discard before rolling and add a 1+ to any test result, or discard to remove disgruntled from the owner. It's only $100, and that is well worth it. And there's 2 Fruity Odie Bars in there. All right, let's see. This is a gun hand. We've seen gun hands before. There's another one. They just added some more. Another head goon that we talked about before in previous videos. Here's Heist Intel. It says, on your turn, discard to look at the top 3 cards in the misbehaved deck. Return them to the top of the deck in any order, or, because we've already seen that one before, but this one says, or discard them all. Now, that's not bad. It is $500, so I don't know if it's worth that much. Personally, I wouldn't get this for that, but it is an interesting idea, a little twist. Here's one I love. Hole-mounted flax gun. It says, when in a sector with a reaver cutter, you can discard it to ignore the reaver cutter's effects and move that reaver cutter to another sector within the rim or border space. You're kidding me. For only $400, that is a must for my ship upgrades, and there's 2 of them in the deck. Here's Kaylee's Parasail. It's, of course, a negotiation skill. Doesn't count toward gear limit. Love it. It's a 0. Love how they add that stuff in there. And here's one of the best drive cores in the game now. It says 1 fuel to initiate that full burn. That's 6. But whenever your Reaver or Alliance ship enters your current sector, you can immediately roll the dice. If you roll a 1 or 2, well, then you have to follow through with what's going on, the bad consequences, so to say. But if you roll a 3 to 6, you evade them automatically, making this one of the best drive cores in the game, in my opinion. Another great one is the long-range scanner array. You can, during a fly action, you may resolve Reaver or Alliance alert tokens in the adjacent sector. So, for instance, if I wanted to move here, but there was an Alliance or, let's say, Reaver coin there that I'd have to roll for, I can roll ahead of time. So if it fails and a Reaver's there, while I'm not there yet, I can choose to fly somewhere else, maybe around it if I want to. So for that reason alone, the long-range scanner array, that's actually pretty good. For $800, it's a steal. Here's some other ones. This is Mal's brown coat. It says you can disgruntle the owner to add their fight skills to a negotiation test, and it doesn't count toward a gear limit. Ugh. Why would you want to do that for $800? Well, here's why you'd want to do it. Because if you have Mal's brown coat, hopefully that means you have Mal's Frontier Model B. Look at that. 2 fight skill firearm there. It says before each fight test, remove a disgruntle from the owner. So I can see if you had both of these where you would be rocking it. So, you know, hopefully I could play as Mal and have both of them and really rock it. All right. Gambling, you know I love gambling. You can discard it, choose red or black, draw the 2 misbehaved cards. If both suits match, take $1,200. That is fantastic. So they're both red, both black. That's awesome. Here's the MF-813 Flying Mule, and this is interesting. It says, after completing a crime job, load 6 goods. Goods can be cargo, contraband, fuel, parts, whatever you want it to be. And then -1 crew working that job. So if you have 3 crew on the job, take away 3 of those goods. So you only load 3. All right. So if you have 6 on there, this transport wouldn't be worth it. But if you're only doing it with a small crew, then using this transport, that could come in very handy, and I could see that being very beneficial. Here's one called the Middleman. It says whenever you sell contraband to a contact, take an extra 100 per contraband sold. That's really awesome. Here's a modded fuel catalyzer. It says when initiating full burn, you can spend an additional fuel token to add a +2 to your drive course maximum range on this turn. So this is only worth 600, which is good because I don't think I'd pay more than this. But if, let's say I'm at a full burn, I am just short of my goal. but if I spent one extra fuel and didn't use an extra turn, I could go a little bit farther. Oh yeah, then I could definitely see where this car, the ship upgrade, would go well. This one is Reaverflage. Says ship can move into a sector occupied by a Reaver ship. You have to discard this after losing any crew to Reavers. But this is nice because usually, of course, you cannot enter into a section with a Reaver. It's not allowed. But if you have some Reaverflage here, you sure can do it. Love it. Here's another one, the Salesman. It says, as a buy action, discard to purchase a ship upgrade or drive core from any discard pile at half the price. This may be done from any location. Are you kidding me? He should be worth 300. I think that is a fantastic card. I would, in a heartbeat, add him to my crew. Here is another companion. Look out. There's a companion in here. Fancy Duds. It says, once per job, you may treat a fight skill as a negotiation skill. That's not bad. And of course, companions are always good to have in the deck. Here's Simon's Sonic Stun Baton. It counts as a fake ID. You can discard it after a fight test to count the roll as a 6, and then add those Thrill and Heroics bonus roll. So that is a very interesting take on the card there. That may be worth it. Here's the Operative Sword. As you know, the Operative is missing from this expansion, so I'm assuming he'll pop up later on. But this one counts as a knife. It's a +2 fight skill. You can discard it as an ace from any misbehave card and proceed. That means at the bottom of these misbehave cards, you know, I said if you have River or Simon Tam, it says you aced it. You just go on. Don't forget all the rules and things you have to do. Well, this one, if you discard it, it will count as an ace. I think that is well worth it. I love that card. Next up, here's Cortland. You can pay bribes before any negotiation test. Bribes cannot be used in showdowns, though. Remember, from the Bounty Hunters and Pirates expansion, so you can't use them for Bounty Hunters. Bribes, by the way, are when you pay $100 and it gives you a 1+ to your roll. Another fantastic item card is this Lovebot. Look, it counts as a companion. That's hilarious. It's an item, negotiation skill, and you may use this action. She works just like a regular companion would. So I told you there's not that many companions in the deck here. Okay, so what do I think of the Blue Sun expansion? I think it's wonderful. The Reaver space is going to be really scary. It's going to be hard to maneuver in there. They tempt you with a lot of great stuff, though, out in rim space, so you may want to journey out more there. I would not suggest this for beginner players. They need to wait and play the game a little bit longer before adding Blue Sun. Blue Sun does add a lot of danger to the game, and that's what each one of these expansions have done. They've just raised the stakes, and that's what Blue Sun does. So should you get it? Yes, of course you should get it. It's a fantastic expansion, and I highly recommend it. But gamers, that's it for today. Join us next time. Until then, game on!